on Global TV. In the headlines, Tinubu receives BOA delegation, reassures on economy. Yakubu scores commission high, comments Rex on 2023 general election. In a bid to drive revenue generation, FIRS partners Mayton to collect VAT from market traders. And in sport, Olympic pre-qualifiers Chimezie, Ikenna Ndugba, and Anosike to play in Lagos. I am Sadia Sabo Mustafa. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has expressed confidence that his administration is on the pathway to success in spite of the challenges facing the country, saying Nigeria has no reason to fail the rest of the African continent. This was disclosed in a statement signed by Dele Alake, the special advisor to the president on special duties, communication and strategy. Receiving visiting Bank of American officials in his office at the State House on Tuesday, the president said his government was committed to instituting reforms that would engender the sustainable growth and development of the country. The president asked the bank's management for support and partnership that would advance mutual benefit for Nigeria and the financial institution in his remarks. The leader of the delegation and president of International Bank of America, Mr. Bennett Mensah, expressed excitement about the initial steps taken by the new administration, which he said is taking Nigeria back to its rightful place on the global stage. The Bank of America had said the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank may need to increase interest rates by at least 700 basis points before the end of the year to curb inflation. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Tuesday opened and closed its defense in Peter Obi's petition, challenging the result of the February 25th presidential election. Recall that Bola Tinubu was declared the winner of the election and was sworn in as president on May 29. Obi of the Labour Party is urging Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja to set aside Tinubu's victory on the grounds that the Independent National Electoral Commission failed to comply with the electoral laws at the resumed proceeding on Tuesday. Counsel for INEC, A.B. Mahmood San, proceeds to close its defense in the petition after calling the first witness, Lawrence Bayode, as Assistant Director in charge of his ICT department. Bayode had also testified yesterday in aid of the Commission's defense against petition filed by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party. He was led in evidence by the Commission's lead counsel, A.B. Mahmood San, who also tendered some documents in the course of the proceeding. The witness under cross-examination said that even if blood documents were downloaded from the INEC's result viewing portal, it will not affect the physical result as recorded in the polling unit's result, otherwise called EC8A. He said the images of Form EC8A captured with the bimodal voters accreditation system and transmitted to ARIF are not relevant for the collection of results. When examined by counsel of the All Progressive Congress, L.O. Fagbemi San, the witness told the court that the glitch recorded during the last presidential election did not affect the collection of the election result in the meantime. In the meantime, the chairman of the INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, today met the resident Electoral Commission in Abuja to reflect on the just concluded 2023 general election with a view to commencing a holistic review of the process. While acknowledging the various opinions expressed by political parties, candidate observers, and the general public, Professor Yakub noted that the Commission is listening, learning, and determined to improve future elections. Our correspondent, Priscilla Obasi, has the rest of the story.
Professor Yakubu highlighted the extensive preparation that preceded the election for over a 4-year period. making it one of the elections that have received the most investment of resources in the country's most recent history. Despite security challenges and attacks on personnel and facilities, the elections, according to him, were largely peaceful.
This is necessary if we are to learn the full lessons of the election going forward. Compared to some previous elections, we believe that the 2023 general election was one of the most meticulously prepared for in recent times. Learning from previous experiences, we started preparations immediately after the 2019 general election, carefully ticking the necessary boxes over a 4-year period.
The chairman stated that the bimodal voters accreditation system, BVAS, deployed for voters accreditation, received tremendous commendation with a remarkable success rate of 98%. According to Professor Yakubu, the outcome of the election demonstrated a fair representation of Nigeria's diverse multi-party democracy, with various political parties securing seats at different levels, a development that is reflective of the country's political diversity.
Accreditation using the bimodal voter accreditation system, the BVAS, has generally been scored very high by voters. Our records show that the success rate of the BVAS accreditation stands at 98% compared to the smart card readers' 29.2% during the 2019 general election.
The chairman expressed gratitude to the resident electoral commissioners for their contributions and urged them to engage in more open and constructive discussions during the review process. He also highlighted the upcoming by-elections and off-cycle governorship elections, underscoring the continuous nature of electoral activities in Nigeria. Priscilla Obasi, reporting for Global TV News.
Now, residents of Trademore Estate in the Lugbe area of Abuja on Monday shut the gates in protest against the planned demolition of structures in the estate by officials of the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA. Global TV Sandra Akpa, however, reports that the FCDA has stated that buildings and waterways in the estate and other areas will be demolished.
Over 150 houses in Trademore Estate in Lugbe area of the Federal Capital Territory is about to be demolished due to flooding. At a peaceful protest in Abuja, the residents call on the federal government to put infrastructure in place to end the consistent flooding instead of rendering over thousands of people homeless.
It hasn't taken us this long to cry out. We've always engaged government. And when you engage government, they will say to you they will do certain things. As law-abiding citizens, what we have done was to go back and wait for government to do what they needed to do. But unfortunately, each time they failed us. Now, if you know what is happening in Lagos, even when the present president was governor, they chased away the sea. They samfilled the sea, right? And then their houses built on those lands today, okay? Because they needed more space. In Abuja, what government is saying they want to do right now is to demolish homes and send people on the street. There are about 20,000 people living here.
Residents are pleading with the government to provide an expansion and proper drainage canal so as to have free flow of water during the rain season.
But since they did this road, the flooding started. And if you take note, if you look at the height where the water level is, if you look at the height, you can see the sign on the house. You can see that it's the same height with the road. The problem is the road. As much as the road was good intervention, because it was terrible for the people, since they made this road, constructed this road, the flooding started.
We only noticed in recent times that the water flow started to overflow its boundary. Upon further personal inquiry within ourselves, we discovered that a lot of people have, they have tampered with the flow of the water, which is before and after Trademore Estate. The water issue is not limited to Trademore Estate. It's a global problem, and it has to be solved as such.
Majority of us have stayed here for 10 years plus. There have never been any flooding issues. These issues of flooding started few let me just say 3, 4, 5 years ago, where there are some developers behind Trademore and beside Trademore have started what they know how to do with impunity by closing the channels through which the water can pass through and go to the normal channel. And then they block them, build houses, and the only way through which the water can flow is Trademore, because Trademore is at the slope.
Buildings in the Trademore estate had been marked for demolition. Years after years, warnings have been sent, but the residents in the estate keep risking their lives and those of others. Sandra Akpa reporting for Global TV News.
Meanwhile, 9 out of 20 persons were trapped in the rubble of a 4-story building that collapsed on Monday in Dape Life Camp in Abuja have been rescued. The building, which was under construction as of the time of the collapse, is said to be owned by a top hotel in the territory. According to eyewitnesses at the site, the hotel, which has an underground facility, had no fewer than 20 persons trapped. While emergency responders and security personnel were on ground for rescue operations, officials of the FCT Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, said 9 persons have been rescued as of 9 p.m. on Monday. The National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, says those who forge its discharge or exemption certificate risk jail term, optional fine or both as penalties. The Director of Legal Services of the Corps, Mr. Ahmed Ibrahim, said this on Monday in Abuja during the 2023 Legal Officers Capacity Building Training. According to Ibrahim, the NYSC acts all the infractions that people should know about. He said the punishment in the first place is that those who commit such infractions will be arrested, while the police will charge them to court. At that point, Ibrahim said the police will be left with the responsibility of prosecuting, and the court would decide whether to imprison or fine such individuals. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has rejected the Core Curriculum Minimum Academic Standards, CCMAS, prepared by the National Universities Commission. The union said it was nightmarish to threat to quality university education and an erosion of powers of the University Senate in Nigerian universities. National President of ASU, Emmanuel Sadiki, said it was inexplicable that NUC prepackaged 70% CCMS contents were being imposed on the Nigerian university system, adding the university senates, who are responsible for academic program development, were left to work on only 30%. Asadike said that there were growing concerns about the numerous shortcomings and gross inadequacies of the CCMS document, and although many universities were dissatisfied, they were shying away from making public comment on CCMS. You're watching News Prime on Global TV, coming to you live from Star Times, channel 276 from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Do well to follow us across all social media platforms at Global TV NG when News Prime returns. FIRS partners Mayton to collect VAT from market traders. We'll be back with this and more stories right after the break. Please don't go away. Thank you. The Nigerian government, through the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has announced that the VAT Direct Initiative, a scheme aimed at enabling government collect value-added taxes from the informal sector while reducing multiple taxation in the informal economy. Disclosing this in a statement on Monday, the FIRS stated that it will partner with the Market Traders Association of Nigeria, METAN, to collect and remit VAT from its members, particularly those in the informal sector, using a unified system technology. The statement partly read, a collaboration between FIRS and METAN, where METAN promotes awareness of VAT collections and remittance in the marketplace and informal sector, while also simplifying VAT payment and remittance for the marketplace and informal sector using a proposed built digital platform. According to the FIRS, the scheme will help tackle multiple taxation in the marketplace through partnership with security agencies to curb the activities of tout, self-imposed tax collectors, and the self-imposed tax collectors. The move is coming at a time Nigerians are groaning under the burden of fuel subsidy removal and foreign exchange reforms. President Bola Tinubu has met with Shell Global Upstream Director Zoe Genevieve at the presidential villa. Also at the meeting was a group of chief executive officers of the Nigerian Petroleum Company Limited, Meliari. The meeting is President Bola Tinubu's first engagement after the Salah festivities and his foreign trips to France in June 20th and London on June 24th. Genevieve who assumed office as upstream director on July 1st, has been member of the Shell Executive Committee since 2021. The meeting, it was gathered, was part of ongoing consultation with leaders from the oil and gas sectors since his administration came on board. It forms part of ongoing consultation with leaders from oil and gas sectors since his administration discontinued petroleum subsidy on May 29. The president had previously met with ExxonMobil executive Liam Marlin, Richard Lane, and Adesua Dozie at the State House. A civil society organization, Coalition of West African Investigative Journalists, has called on President Bola Tinubu to initiate an investigation into the spending of over $550 million repayable grant by Nigeria Electrification Project, NEP. NEP, a unit in rural electrification agency, according to Coalition of West African Investigative Journalists, at a press conference in Lagos, obtained the loan from World Bank and African Development Bank under the incumbent management director of the RAE. Speaking at the event, the Watchdog Journalist Group's General Secretary, Comrade Adeye, said since December 2019, NEP repayable grant from World Bank and African Development Bank to improve access to electricity is underprivileged communities across Nigeria, which is core mandate, has totaled over 550 million, approximately 426 billion naira. The grant, Adeye claimed, has been misappropriated, adding that several contracts awarded to the respect of the loan are also in violation of public procurement law. The Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to urgently publish details of spending about 400 billion naira so far saved as a result of the removal of the subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol. He was urged by SERAP to provide details of the plan on how subsequent savings from the removal of the petroleum subsidy will be used, including specific projects on which funds will be spent and mechanisms that have been put in place to ensure that any such savings are not embezzled, misappropriated, or diverted into private pockets. According to reports, the federal government had saved 400 billion naira in the 4 weeks following the implementation of the policy of the removal of petroleum subsidy payment. SERAP Deputy Director Kolowale Oluwadare, in a statement, said the government has a legal responsibility to ensure that the savings from the removal of subsidy on petrol are spent solely for the benefit of the 137 million poor Nigerians who are bearing the brunt of the removal, and Nigerians have the right to know how the savings are spent. Pakistan, currently facing an economic crisis, will become the 4th largest borrower from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, receiving $3 billion loan over the next 9 months. This will move Pakistan up from the 5th place. The country's economy has been struggling for years, resulting in high inflation, difficulties for the population. The loan will help address the balance of payment crisis caused by the war in Ukraine and domestic challenges. Debt-strapped Pakistan will become the 4th largest IMF borrower in the world after receiving a fresh loan of $3 billion in the next 9 months under the standby arrangement reached with the global lender. Yeah. Tobi Amusan has stormed with her first Diamond League win this season in Stockholm on Sunday. In what was her second Diamond League race this season, she clocked 12 minutes 52 seconds to win the race on the slippery track before her first win of the season on Sunday. The hurdler was improved steadily in the current athletic season, lowering her time significantly in the space of 3 weeks. The Nigerian ran a season's best of 12 minutes, 47 seconds, and placed 3rd behind Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho Quinn and American's Ty Jones at the Ostrava Golden Spike meet last week. The world champion is confident of improving her forms ahead of this national trials in Benin City to select Nigerian representative to the World Championship in Budapest, Hungary in August. Fidelis has the rest of the sport.
With the introduction of FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournament this year, 40 nations, including Nigeria, that missed out on the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup, now have a chance to still compete at the Paris Olympic Games in 2024. The Tigers failed to qualify for the 2023 FIBA World Cup after being unable to play any game at home, but they are now set to be led by NBA Coach of the Year, Mike Brown, for the FIBA pre-qualifying tournament in Lagos, with stars like Phoenix Suns guard Josh Okogie, Jordan Nwora of the Indiana Pacers, and Toronto Raptors gigantic man Precious Achiuwa already a part of the squad. The trio of Ike Ondugba, EJ Anosike, and Sacramento Kings forward Chimezie Metu have all committed to play for the Tigers of Nigeria. All 5 FIBA Olympic pre-qualifying tournaments in Asia, Africa, and the Americas will take place between August 12th and August 20th, 2023. And the 5 champions will receive invitations to the FIBA Olympic qualifying tournaments in July 2024. Fidelix Inyegoena for Global Television News.
And that's all for the news prime on Global TV. From Nigeria's capital, Abuja, we're on StarTimes channel 276 from Abuja's national capital. Kindly follow us across our social media platforms at Global TV NG. Thank you so much for watching. We have more stories for you on News Cycle. I am Sadia Mustafa. Good evening.